Hello, everyone, and welcome to the week of Monday, June 27th, your Akashic Energy Forecast. My name is Jennifer Longmore, founder of the #1 Akashic Record Training School in the world, souljourneys.ca. And of course, we have a whole host of other things going on there. So we do this every week, and StreamYard has been the easiest way to do this because Facebook has been a little bit testy with letting me just go live there. And then I thought, well, I might as well broadcast these forecasts in as many places as possible because they kind of help us keep plugged in. We've got a lot going on in the world. We have some interesting things happening on the world stage. And if we can stay plugged into the spiritual experience of all of this and look at what are we here to master? What am I focused on? Why am I focused on that? Is it because I'm coded to be part of the solution to that? Is it that I'm meant to release concepts and constructs that I have that are no longer serving me? So to that end, we're going to dive in to this week. Let me know how you're doing, by the way. Let me know how the energy has been for you. Last week, I know many of you did report that the energy was gentle and there was like a softening in you and a softening of things around you. This week, they are very clear, not that they would use these terms, but I'm using these terms, that energy hygiene is a priority. We have a lot of stuff, as I mentioned, happening on the world stage, and that these kind of things can throw us off kilter. And it's not that we can't care about what's going on. It's not that we shouldn't care. It's not that we shouldn't be aware. We can't help but be aware of these things, but we also want to make sure that we're not taking on any collective angst, any collective grief, sadness, frustration, that kind of thing. And that's what energy hygiene will do for us. So we tend to, like many of us will have the same reaction to, for example, an abortion ruling or things like that. And then that compounds in the ethers and we can kind of pick up on that and end up carrying around energy that isn't really ours. Like, yes, there's a piece of it that's ours, but it can end up feeling more dense than what it needs to. So energy hygiene is a priority this week, and especially because they showed me that worry and doubt are going to be the distractor implants that get really poked at this week. So you're going to find yourself just sort of doubting things that you would have normally been confident about, for example, or worrying about things that you never really thought to worry about before. And that's a good indication that you're picking up on a collective energy, especially when it comes out of nowhere. It doesn't mean that it's not yours, but as we know, if we're going to try and process stuff that doesn't belong to us, we just stay on a perpetual feedback loop. And we can end up spending a lot of time, money, and energy trying to unravel from the energies when all we need to say is, oh, that doesn't belong to mine. I'm just going to let it go. We don't have to even do a whole formula. We can just intend that the energy is transmuted and that we are sovereign in our own experience, right? The reason why this is coming up is because we have a lot of Atlantean imprints coming up. Now, they don't talk to me an awful lot about Atlantis. I mean, certainly at the beginning of 2020, there was a lot of stuff coming through around that and Lemuria and so on. But this week, they are showing me that there are some Atlantean imprints that are being activated right now in a positive way, meaning that where we were acting as ascended beings during that time, those same codes, those same energetic imprints that hold certain information about how to be more innovative during this time, how to outcreate what's going on, is coming through. So if you're feeling the need to, if you're getting some nudges, they really want to encourage you to act on those pretty quickly. There's a reason why. And you're probably noticing that anyways. One of the things they showed me is that, of course, there's not really any such thing as time, but on this planet, we use time as a measurement tool. And the speed or the length of time we're allowing for projects is very different now than it was before. So we tend to get the downloads quickly. We tend to act on that quickly. If you're noticing that, by the way, let me know in the chat. It's certainly something I'm noticing as well. And it's a lot easier to act on those things. And again, back to the energy hygiene, when we feel like our energy field is ours, it's intact, and we don't have any other energies pulling on us or influencing us or any sort of wet blankets in our energy field, it's a lot easier to act more quickly because we have complete clarity in our field, and we can feel the texture of the energy and feel whether it's ours or not. So That being said, innovation is going to feel strong this week. You're going to just feel like you're remembering things, I guess would be the best way to put it. And the other piece about the energy hygiene is because you're going to need to stay on top of the worry and doubt, they're also showing me that just in general, thoughts will be very busy. You know how we can kind of get a cyclone of thoughts that just spin and spin and spin, and we kind of can't land the plane sometimes. So they're wanting us to do a lot of grounding this week. The grounding, of course, is going to help keep our emotional body intact, help with energy hygiene, but definitely bring that cyclone of thought clouds that are spinning, almost like the spin cycle in the washer, right? They're going to be brought down. And right now, the spiritual mastery that we're being asked to tune into is really expanding beyond the 3D energetics. So we can be aware of how this planet works. We can even be aware of how to manifest on this planet and so on, depending on where you're at in your journey and what you end up focusing on, right? But they want us to really expand beyond this reality. So instead of manifesting things, and there's nothing wrong with that, instead of paying attention to what's happening on the world stage, instead of paying attention to what other people are doing, and various things like that, just expanding beyond that and really looking at what else can I call in? What else can I call in to support this innovation that I'm wanting to bring through? As I mentioned, there's another, we've got these Atlantean imprints, but part of that is because we've got another ascension portal that has opened. And these are opening pretty quickly, right? We're noticing a series of them opening kind of week after week. And it's not really weekly, but you know, for argument's sake, with time, we'll say that. But they're definitely opening at the speed of light. And one of the things that they showed me is that with the density of the energy that's coming through for this phase of the ascension, that our relationship with our body is going to change. You might have already been feeling that. And if you have, let me know in the chat. I want to get a sense of how many of us are already noticing this. So you're potentially going to notice a difference in the time of day you actually feel true hunger, right? And the time of day you feel like you want to eat. For me, it's quite strange because now if I eat, and it's really just because I know I need to, I'm not even really feeling the need to eat anything until about 11 or 12 in the morning, which is unusual for me. It's not the end of the world and I'm not making it wrong. I'm just paying attention to that. Additionally, you might notice the types of food you're being called to eat. So you might be called to eat stuff that's very grounding. If you're out of your body a lot and spinning, like I know many of us do, but you might be feeling called to eat lighter things. You might be feeling called to take out certain nutrients like vitamins and minerals and so on, or add certain things in. I know for me, one of the shifts I've made since 2020, I'm a big fan of natural medicine. You probably all know that, and I tend to I'm very responsive to homeopathics. So a lot of what I take now, and this is not nutritional advice, so please don't come at me. I'm just telling you what I do. To give you an example, so I've been vegan for many years, and one of the things you need to do as a vegan, really most of us need to supplement anyways, but I definitely need to supplement. And one of the things that I need to supplement is iron. And when I was taking iron supplements, I was not any further ahead. My body just wasn't absorbing it. But it turns out that my body really appreciates iron in homeopathic form, in tissue form, tissue salt form, and in homeopathic form. So a lot of the things that I've been doing have been in tissue salt form and homeopathic form for quite some time. And even at that, as I wanted to keep my immune system high and various things, that is what I've been using. Even some of you may remember, I went horseback riding in the fall of last year, and totally my bad. The horse stepped on my foot and like crushed the top of my foot. And yes, I'm aware of all the energetics and why that happened. But point being is that when you go to the medical model, which is reason number 876 why I don't have much use for the medical model, it doesn't really serve me. It's not really wired for people like me. They just said I had to get x-rays done, right? And had 2 broken toes. Not surprising. I got stepped on by a horse, and thankfully there wasn't that much damage. My point being is that they just tell you, there's nothing you can do. You just have to wait it out. Well, that's not acceptable for me. I don't really have the time for that. But I knew that there had to be a way. So of course I consulted with my homeopath, who gave me some homeopathic that's specific for broken bones. And it healed up very, very quickly and very nicely because, of course, I was giving it the vibrational medicine that it needed. So that's just me. But I will say that we're probably all feeling inclined to lean more towards the vibrational stuff to put in our body, as opposed to things that are more dense. You might have been vegan for the last several years like me, and then all of a sudden feel guided to eat meat, or vice versa, right? But there's going to be some sort of change, like palpable change, that you'll notice in maybe the time of day that you're eating, the volume of food that you're eating, or even some foods that you just didn't expect to be eating, or you didn't expect things to change so dramatically. The body, as we know, has a consciousness as well. And the reason why they include the body in these weekly forecasts is because it is a consciousness. It is co-creating with us. It is the temple that houses our soul and allows us to move through the world in a certain way, even just vibrationally, right? To be calling in certain experiences. So that is anyway something that we want to pay attention to. So energy hygiene, paying attention to what you're eating and just honoring that. It will cycle again. I'm being shown that each time a major portal opens up that affects the body differently vibrationally, that we'll notice a shift. So it's a good idea, by the way, to not get too attached or too rigid in what you think you should eat, or how you think that should look, or based on what science is telling us, or various things. It's really about honoring what the body consciousness, if we're choosing this ascended path, right, what the body consciousness actually wants. The innovation will be strong this week because of the Atlantean influence that's coming through. We'll want to ground and make some really conscious grounding practices to avoid all of that buzzy sort of mental energy that's going on. And this is the week we're going to be invited to outcreate, right? So instead of just focusing so much on 3D living, how do we expand beyond that? How do we create beyond that? How do we stop getting so fixated on what's happening on this planet? And I'm not talking about leaving our body or flying on the magic carpet and being avoidant. I'm talking about being aware that we're here, but challenging ourselves to create beyond that. So let me know if this resonates. I hope that it does. If you are wanting to get daily messages from the Akasha and you're not getting those, then if you sign up for souljourneys.ca/soul, you will get a daily message from the Akashic Record Keepers every day in your inbox. I was reluctant to send these every day because I know what it's like in the online space, and people get bombarded with emails, and there's all kinds of promotional emails, sometimes several times a day from the same company. And but the nudge was really strong, and when I honored that, I shouldn't have been surprised that we got a lot of thank yous for that. We get people thanking us every day for those messages. We don't do it for that reason, but it is a nice little boost. It's like literally, 10 words, 20 words, something like that, some sort of inspirational, spiritual guidance for the day, just to kind of plug in and focus our energy on where it matters. So thank you for being here, my friends. I look forward to seeing you next week. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.